this is Awdi with Clintar Collectibles, and today I'm back with another structure deck video. So for this one, I have 3 ROKKET Revolts. I was pretty hyped for this one. From what I understand, Dragon Links were pretty good for a hot second, and I know you can't really build them with just the 3 structure decks here, but I know it does make a decently competitive deck, so I've been hyped to get this. I actually got a really good price for these. I was happy about that because these go for a pretty penny compared to what they sold for retail. But anyway, let's get right into cracking one of these open. So here we've got Lock and Load. Outfit your Dragonic arsenal with the latest technology in structure deck ROKKET Revolt. Various rocket strategy from Yugioh V-Rains. Uses 2 different kinds of extra deck monsters, the Dragon Boral monsters and the Cyber's Topologic monsters. Both of them have produced some of the strongest extra deck monsters in the game, and both receive new weapons to add to their arsenal in structure deck ROKKET Revolt. So there you can kind of see the card list, but we'll go ahead and crack this open, take a look at what we have inside. My cat's hair is on there. So here we go. Here's our beginner's guide. So it just kind of goes over the monsters and things like that. I think this is kind of like a little rule book too. And then here we have my favorite part of these structure decks is the playmat. It's always cool to see the different arts and things like that that they come up with for these. Oh wow. Very nice, very nice. Those dragons have always been so cool to me. The whole kind of dragon archetype in general. I just love the dragon cards. But anyway, so here we go. So on the top here, you can see Topologic 0 borrows. Let's see if I can find this little tab here. Play the game of how long does it take Awdi to find the tab. There it is. Alright, we'll go ahead and set those over to the side. So as always, we've got our promo card here for Duel Links. Alright, so starting off we have Topologic 0 Boros. Borreload Furious Dragon. Quad Boral Dragon. Silver Rocket Dragon. Rocket Tracer. Absorouter Dragon. 0 Day Blaster. And that'll wrap up our hollows. So then we've got Rocket Recharger. Exploder Rocket Dragon. Checksum Dragon. Anstel Rocket Dragon. Got interesting names in here. Auto Rocket Dragon. Magna Rocket Dragon. Shell Rocket Dragon. Metal Rocket Dragon. Rocket Syncron. Gateway Dragon. Defrag Dragon. Background Dragon. Labradorite Dragon. Paladin of Felgrant. Dragon Knight of Creation. Keeper of the Shrine. World Chalice Guard Dragon. Raiden, Hand of the Lightsworn. Oh, there's a Lightsworn in here. Alright, so that looks like it wraps up our monsters. So then we have Boral Supplier. Rapid Trigger. Squib Draw. Quick Launch. Boot Sector Launch. Boral Regenerator. Dragon Shrine. Ruins of the Divine Dragon Lords. Return of the Dragon Lords. We have a Polymerization, Twin Twisters. Okay. That looks like it wraps up our spells. So now we're on to traps. We have Executive Protocols, Red Reboot, Link Turret, Mirror Force Launcher, Mirror Force. Okay, this is a cool. Magic Cylinder, Imperial Order, and then it looks like we've got a few extra deck monsters here. So we've got Borreload Dragon, Triple Burst Dragon, and Booster Dragon. So that'll do it for the deck list. So I will cut to the organizing, and then like always, I will be making a deck out of the 3 structure decks. So stay tuned. All right, I've got my 3 structure decks here, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started with the organizing. So there we have it. So this is the 3 main decks: monsters, spells, and traps. And then here's all the extra deck monsters. Alright, so I will go ahead and cut to when I have my deck list all figured out. I'll see you guys then. Alright, y'all, so I made my card choices, so let's go ahead and get into the deck profile for this. So we'll go ahead and start with the main deck here. And of course, starting off with some of our trios, we've got 3 Rocket Tracer, just kind of the generic Rocket starter. So quick effect, you can target 1 face-up card you control, destroy it, and if you do, special summon 1 rocket monster from your deck except Rocket Tracer. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn except dark monsters, which is no issue. All of the monsters in the extra deck for this are dark, so we're not really locked out of anything for this. Next, I'm playing 3 Router Dragon. And so if you control a rocket monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only special summon Router Dragon once per turn this way. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add 1 rocket monster from your deck to your hand. So this is another kind of card that we can use to get a body on the board for some of our link monsters. And then this can also search us some of our rocket cards as well. So next, I'm playing 2 Silver Rocket Dragon, just to kind of start our 2-offs here. But when a link monster's effect is activated that targets this face-up card on the field, quick effect, you can destroy this card, then look at your opponent's extra deck and banish 1 card from it. So if someone only has 1 copy of their boss monster in their extra deck or something like that, this could be a good way to get rid of that. That way they can't even play it if it's one of those decks that can't really tap into the banish pile. So during the end phase, if this card is in the graveyard because it was destroyed there on the field, battle a card effect, and sent there this turn, you can special summon 1 rocket monster from your deck except Silver Rocket Dragon. That's kind of the generic rocket effect, I guess. A lot of these rocket dragons have that same effect. So next, I'm playing 2 Auto Rocket Dragon. So this one is you can destroy this card and send 1 spell or trap on the field to the graveyard. This is kind of back row removal. And then again, this kind of has that generic rocket effect. And so now we've got Magna Rocket Dragon. I'm playing this at 2 as well. So this one is you can destroy this card, then send 1 monster on the field to the graveyard. So to my knowledge, that's not destroy a card. So if there's kind of some specific text that says, you know, this monster cannot be destroyed, I don't think this counts toward that. I mean, you destroy this card and then you send 1 monster on the field to the graveyard, so you're sending it to my knowledge. But next, we've got 2 Rocket Syncron. Again, this is one of the more generic rocket cards that you'll see. So when this card is normal summoned, you can target one level 5 or higher dark dragon monster in your graveyard, special summon it in defense position, negate its effects, negate its effects, destroy it during the end phase. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of this turn except dark monsters. So again, we're not really getting locked out of anything because this whole extra deck is dark monsters. But this is one of the normal summons out of the deck, and we do have a couple copies of the fusion monster that we can kind of target with this. And you have to destroy it during the end phase, but again, I mean, that could just be some fodder for Link. And lastly, for the 2-0s, I'm playing 2 Gateway Dragon. So if your opponent controls a Link monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only special summon Gateway Dragon once per turn this way. That might not come up as much, but the second effect is more towards what I'm looking for. So once per turn, you can special summon 1 level 4 or lower Dark Dragon monster from your hand. So a lot of the Rocket Dragons, they kind of summon from the deck with their effect. So if you have some in your hand, they can kind of be a little bricky sometimes. So this can kind of help get those out of your hand. And so now for the 1-0s, I'm playing 1 Shell Rocket Dragon. So this is, you can destroy this card, then destroy 1 monster in the column this card was in. And if you do, destroy any monsters in that card's adjacent zones. So that's, I mean, a little bit of getting some of their bodies off the board. I'm playing 1 Metal Rocket Dragon. And this one is, you can destroy this card, then destroy all your opponent's cards in this column this card was in. Again, just kind of getting stuff off the board. And then I'm playing 1 Exploder Rocket Dragon. So you can destroy this card, and then each player takes 2,000 damage. This can be kind of a last little pot shot. Take out those last 2,000 life points or last few life points that your opponent may have. You take that 2,000 too, but again, I mean, if that's for a game, then it doesn't really matter at that point. And then I'm playing 1 Defrag Dragon to wrap up our monsters here. So you can special summon this card from your hand by sending 1 other monster from your hand to the graveyard. You can only special summon Defrag Dragon once per turn this way. If this card is in the graveyard, you can banish 3 monsters from your graveyard with the same name, except Defrag Dragon. Special summon this card. So this can be kind of an extender if you need it to be. We banish some of our monsters anyway with some of our other card effects, but you do have to banish 3 of 1 monster with the same name, so this would be kind of like a later game kind of grindy card, but again, this could be some potential Link material. So starting with our spells here, I'm playing 3 Squib Draw. Target 1 rocket monster you control, destroy it, and if you do, draw 2 cards. So this is like a nice little Pot of Greed effect. We don't mind sending our rocket monsters to the graveyard. And then I'll be playing 3 Quick Launch. So special summon 1 rocket monster from your deck, but it cannot attack. Also destroy it during the end phase. So again, this is getting Link material onto the board. This could be kind of putting up a little last-ditch defense as well. This is a quick play, so you could play this on your opponent's turn if you have it set, just to kind of get something on the board. Next, I'll be playing 3 Boral Regenerator. This is pretty much a monster reborn for rockets. So activate this card by targeting 1 rocket monster in your graveyard. Special summon it and equip it with this card, but banish it when this card leaves the field. If this card is sent to the graveyard because the equipped monster is destroyed, you can draw 1 card. So that's a little bit of a bonus, but this can just get more bodies on the board, again, for more Link plays. So next, I'm playing 2 Dragon Shrine. So send 1 dragon monster from your deck to the graveyard. Then if that monster in your graveyard is a dragon normal monster, which we don't have any of, you can send 1 more dragon. So we're just using this to kind of send some of our rocket cards to the graveyard, if that's what we need to do. Next, I'm playing 2 Polymerization. As I showed you guys earlier, we are playing the fusion monster out of this deck. So just good to have 2 of these, and then we'll get to the other fusion card here in a minute. But next, I'm playing 1 Boral Supplier. So during each standby phase, if you control Boral Link monster, you can target 1 rocket monster in your graveyard, special summon it, but destroy it during the end phase. Again, this can get us some Link materials.
back onto the board, and we obviously play some of the Boral Link monsters in here. Next, I'm playing one Rapid Trigger. So this is one of the other Rocket fusion cards. So fusion summon one fusion monster from your extra deck by destroying fusion materials listed on it from your field, but it can only attack monsters special summoned from the extra deck. So that's a little bit of a limitation with this. Also, it is unaffected by activated effects from other monsters special summoned from the extra deck. So that's a little bonus there, but obviously you can't attack directly with this. This can be a nice kind of I don't want to say disruption, but kind of something to get in the way of your opponent on their turn. If you end with, a couple monsters on the field, and you can go into that fusion monster, then that can kind of throw a wrench into their plans there. Then I'm playing one Boot Sector Launch. So all rocket monsters on the field gain 300 attack and defense. You can activate one of these effects. So special summon up to 2 rocket monsters with different names from your hand in defense. Or you can activate, if your opponent controls more monsters than you do, special summon rocket monsters with different names from your graveyard in defense position up to the difference. You can only use this effect of Boot Sector Launch once per turn. So this is a nice little field spell. Give us a little bit of an attack boost, and then we can, again, get some more bodies on the board because this is a Link-based deck. So now for our traps, I'm just playing 2 0-day Blaster. So tribute 1 Dark Link monster, then target cards on the field equal to its Link rating and destroy them. Board removal. We play a lot of lower Link monsters in this deck. So, I mean, you'll only be popping a few cards. If you get one of the bigger monsters on board, obviously that's more cards, but this can be kind of a way to clear back row as well as some monsters that might be annoying. And then just because it did come in the deck, we're playing 2 Mirror Force just to throw our opponent off, huh? But let's get into the extra deck here. So to start with, I'm playing 3 Booster Dragon. The way I saw it, like, these are a little bit easier to get rid of. These are a little bit easier to go into as well. That way we can kind of link climb and get into our bigger monsters. But this is Booster Dragon. So once per turn, you can target one other face-up monster on the field. It gains 500 attack and defense. That's a nice little boost. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to this effect's activation. If this link summon card is destroyed by battle or card effect is sent to the graveyard, you can target one other dragon monster in your graveyard, special summon it. So, I mean, once this gets off the board, if we have one of these other dragon monsters, or if we have, one of these in the graveyard, then we can get that out with this thing's effect too, which is, I mean, a little bit easier way to get it out. Next, I'm playing 3 Quad Boral Dragon. So again, this is another link to 2 dragon monsters, including a rocket monster. So you can discard 1 card, then target 1 face-up card on the field. You cannot special summon link 2 or lower monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn, which we don't have any. We don't have many targets for that. That's just this one and our Booster Dragon here that are linked 2 and lower. So, I mean, if we're planning on link climbing, we don't care about that anyway. But, so link 2 or lower monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn. Also, destroy the targeted monster. Then, if it was a link monster, you can special summon any number of rocket monsters with different names from your hand or graveyard up to the link rating. Next, I'm playing 3 Triple Burst Dragon. So this is one of our link 3s. So once per turn during damage step, when a spell or trap card or monster effect is activated, quick effect, you can negate the activation. So this is a nice little disruption card. If this card attacks the defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage during your main phase, except the turn this card was special summoned. You can tribute this card, then target 1 link 2 or lower monster in your graveyard, special summon it. Then you can special summon 1 level 4 or lower dragon monster from your hand. So this is another way to kind of get some of our bricks out of our hand, as well as to continue link climbing. Next, I'll be playing 2 Borlo Dragon. This is one of our link 4, kind of one of our boss monsters. So neither player can target this card with monster effects. Once per turn, quick effect, you can target 1 face-up monster on the field. It loses 500 attack and defense. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to this effect's activation. At the start of the damage step, if this card attacks an opponent's monster, you can place the opponent's monster in a zone this card points to and take control of it. So that's a little crazy, but send it to the graveyard during the end phase of the next turn. So that could be kind of a going for game effect. Next, I'm playing 2 topologic Zero Boros. So you cannot summon / set monsters to any extra monster zone this card points to. So it gains 200 attack for each banished card, which we do have a few card effects in here that allow us to banish, and then we can kind of give this thing a little bit of a boost. So if another monster is special summoned to a zone a link monster points to while this monster is on the field, banish all cards on the field. So again, this could be another way to kind of go for game. I mean, you can pretty much board wipe. So once per turn during the standby phase of your next turn, after this card was banished by its own effect, special summon this banished card. And so you can get this out your next standby phase anyway. And then as I showed earlier, I'm playing 2 Borreload Furious Dragon. I know this is more of a link-based deck, but this can be kind of a little bit of a good boss monster too. So this has quick effect. You can target 1 monster you control and one card your opponent controls, destroy them. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 1 dark link monster in your graveyard. Special summon it, but it cannot activate its effects this turn. So, I mean, that's just for the turn. So if we have, you know, a Zero Boros engrave or a Borreload Dragon engrave, this could be an easy way to get that out just by banishing this card. You can only use each effect of Borreload Furious Dragon once per turn. And we do have some polys, and we do have the other fusion card in the deck. And so this is all 15. They actually had a few more cards, but I just cut some of these harder to get to cards. I kept a lot of our lower links, that way it's a little bit easier to link climb if for whatever reason these get destroyed or these get banished or something like that. We have more options to get up into our higher link monsters here. But that'll go ahead and wrap up this deck profile. If you guys have any comments, any changes you would make, please leave a comment down below and let me know what you would do differently. I really love doing these kind of structure deck videos. It's really fun just to kind of see what I can make happen with a particular deck, and then hopefully Noel and I will have some challenge videos coming up, but that'll be the deck profile. As always, if you guys kind of enjoyed the video, like I said, please consider subscribing, and leave a like. We definitely appreciate the support that you guys have been showing. Anyways, and until next time, peace.